There's not much left for the soldiers to do but wait for orders to attack. Ryan Chilcote reports from Camp New Jersey, Kuwait.
I'm Ryan Chilcote at Camp New Jersey with 101st Airborne. Well, there's not a whole lot left for the soldiers to do to get ready. The recreation tent is now officially closed and all the training is over. At this point, it's pretty much down to the grunts and their rucksacks. And I can tell you, at least for my tent, the soldiers, they've repacked their bags, it seems, at least 10 times today. A lot of soldiers still lining up at the AT&T calling center to phone home. A lot of conversations beginning with the words, "I don't know when I'll be able to talk to you next, but I will be okay." As one soldier put it, they now feel like they're in the calm before the storm. There's a real feeling here among the soldiers that they're about to become part of something much larger than themselves and that they're going to be all right. Back to you.
My guest tonight said the Iraqi people will likely see U.S. and British forces as liberators, at least initially. CNN analyst Kenneth Pollock laid out the case for going to war with Saddam Hussein in his book, The Threatening Storm, the case for invading Iraq. He's also a director of the Sabin Center of the Brookings Institution and joins us tonight from our studios in Washington. Ken, good to have you here.
Nice to be here, Lou.
As we are apparently on the eve of battle, what do you think will be the reaction of the Iraqi military, and certainly let's begin with the southern part of Iraq?
Sure. Well, mostly what we have in the southern part of Iraq, Lou, are regular army formations. These are mostly conscripts. They're not very happy to be in the army. Many of them have been in the army for 10 or even 20 years fighting Iran, fighting the U.S. in Desert Storm, and they've been stuck there ever since. They have low pay and intermittent pay. They don't have good access to food or other supplies. And I think that the 17 soldiers who came across the border are probably only the start of what's likely to be a much bigger surge in surrenders and simply defections once the U.S. forces cross the border. I think that everyone's expectation is that Iraq's regular army is not going to put up much of a fight.
And your expectation? Okay.
It falls in the same line. I don't think that the Iraqi regular army is going to put up much of a fight. The big issue is with Iraq's elite units, the Republican Guard and the Special Republican Guard. I think there's every expectation that the Special Republican Guard, which is a force of about 20 to 25,000 troops, drawn mostly from Saddam's own tribe and other very loyal tribes. These are the goon squad that Saddam uses to police Baghdad. They're almost certainly going to fight with him. They have been brainwashed. They get brought into the army at very young ages and get taught that Saddam is their savior. He is this great messianic figure. They get all kinds of perks from Saddam. They are likely to fight hard. The interesting group is the middle group, the Republican Guard. The Republican Guard are the best combat troops in Iraq. Now, that's still not very good, and people made the big mistake in 1991 of constantly referring to the Republican Guard as the elite Republican Guard, which made people think that they were as good as we were. They're not. But they are the best troops in Iraq, and what we did see in 1991 was they were willing to fight very hard when we fought them in Desert Storm. They didn't fight well, but they fought very hard. And this time around, the question is, how hard will they fight to defend Saddam? If they're fighting in Baghdad, and most of the Guard divisions are around Baghdad, they could give us a tougher fight than before. But I think even there, the expectation is even the Guard is probably not likely to put up the same kind of a horrific fight that they fought down in Kuwait. But nevertheless, if you're a U.S. military commander, you got to assume the worst. And
this shock and awe strategy that will be employed by our military, it calls, in some assessments, for 1 in 10 buildings in Baghdad to be destroyed. Give us an assessment of what you think the casualties will be amongst civilians, because Saddam Hussein has placed many important strategic military facilities in civilian areas.
I'll be honest with you, Lou, I don't expect huge numbers of Iraqi civilian casualties from U.S. operations. I think that the military is going to be extremely discriminating. Talking with them myself, I know just how sensitive they are to Iraqi civilian casualties. They understand that this is a war to try to liberate the Iraqi people, not to try to harm them, and they want to be very careful about that. I think the bigger threat to Iraq's civilians, unfortunately, comes from Saddam's forces themselves. I mean, it is one of the great ironies of this war that we care much more about Saddam's people than he does. And in fact, I think the real risk out there is that Saddam is going to see it in his best interest to kill as many people as he can, to create other humanitarian problems for us, doing things like expelling large numbers of the Shiite population of Baghdad as a way of create a humanitarian crisis that we have to deal with that'll hinder our operations toward Baghdad. So I think that the civilian casualties from our operations will be low. That's certainly my hope, and I know that the military is doing everything that they can to prevent that. The bigger issue out there is how much damage Saddam does to his own people.
Kenneth Pollock, good to have you with us.
Always good to be here. Thanks, Lou.
Earlier in this broadcast, Kara Phillips reported on preparations for war aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, one of 5 carriers within striking distance of Iraq. Frank Buckley now reports from the command center of another carrier, the USS Constellation.
We're getting a rare opportunity to look inside right now, the Tactical Flag Command Center. This is the location from which the Constellation Battle Group Commander, Rear Admiral Barry Costello, can monitor information, receive information in real time during any operation. He gets tracks on all of the ships at sea in this area, all of the aircraft in real time, and can at any moment call up the position of all of the ground troops in the area. Now, right now, the Admiral is not in this room, but the Battle Watch captain is on station, and he's seated right here. Just beyond him is a computer screen, and that's how the ships in this region actually communicate with each other. In these secure chat rooms, they send each other messages. Now, you have all of this technology in this room, but also you have something right over here that's really looks like something from the World War II era. It's a map that the Admiral calls his puck board. All of those little squares there indicating a different ship at sea in this area. So again, this is the Tactical Flag Command Center aboard the USS Constellation. I'm Frank Buckley, CNN aboard the Constellation in the Persian Gulf.
Coming up, they separate us from the rest of the world, but millions of people cross our borders each year, many perhaps undetected. Border security has been stepped up over this heightened period of alert. Is it enough? We'll be going live to our northern border, Fort Erie, Canada, and to our border with Mexico. San Ysidro, California. Bill Tucker in Canada covering the story for us. Bill?
Lou, tightened security makes for slow and cautious going at America's northernmost border.
And Casey Wyan in San Ysidro, California. Casey?
Lou, this is the busiest land border crossing in the world. We'll tell you what officials here are doing to keep terrorists out. Lou?
Casey, thank you. And new developments tonight in the mystery flu-like illness that has claimed more than a dozen lives as it's spread around the world. Those stories, a whole lot more when we continue.